And we are live. Welcome, Mystery and Thriller Mavens. I am your on-air host and author, Sara DiVello, and I am so excited to welcome back Kemper Donovan, who's going to give us the inside scoop on his latest book, Ghostwriter book number 2, and that is Loose Lips, out now. Kemper, welcome back to the Mystery and Thriller Mavens. Tell us about this book.
I'm so thrilled to be here, thrilled to be back. I had a great time talking about my first book in the Ghostwriter mystery series. That was The Busybody. So this is Loose Lips. And I'm calling this my sidekick series because the narrator of the series, who is really the only major presence who continues on from book to book, she is the sidekick narrator in a very sort of Holmesian way. So imagine John Watson, but contemporary and female and snarky. And also a writer, and she's a ghostwriter. In the first book, she was writing a celebrity memoir because that's sort of her specialty, and she had an adventure with the person who she was writing a memoir with in Maine. That was a female politician. They had lots of mystery hijinks, and now the hijinks continue in this book because she is on a cruise ship. She is on a boat. So this is my way of homaging Death on the Nile and other books. There are a ton of mysteries out there that are set on a boat because people love to set mysteries on modes of transportation because it's a really good way to get a closed circle sort of a mystery, right? So I couldn't resist. When I knew that I was going to be able to write a series of these books, like more than one, I wanted to write The Busybody first, but I was like, I have to set one of these on a boat. So I figured I would just do it with the second one, just get right out there, not waste any time, because I love a mystery set on a boat. And in this one, the cruise is the lit cruise. So basically, there are a bunch of writers who have been employed to kind of lecture to paying passengers who are these avid readers, these sorts of super fans who are paying for this experience to go on a cruise ship that's just kind of like dawdling out into the middle of the Atlantic and then kind of coming back to New York. It's not really about the destination. There really is no destination. It's very much the journey. And of course, things go awry on this cruise and murder. There's multiple murders, and a good time hopefully is had, at least by the reader, not so much for many of the characters in this book. But I continue to be, obsessed with Agatha Christie. I'm the host of the podcast All About Agatha. So this is definitely me just getting a chance to reference not only Death on the Nile, but a lot of other Christie titles. And just continuing to have a lot of fun.
Yay. Well, I am so excited to talk with you about Loose Lips and to welcome you back because, as you know, from book 1, The Busybody, I love our anonymous ghostwriter. I'm so glad to see her back. Yes. I loved interviewing you, and I love a golden age whodunit. So this is my jam. This is my favorite kind of book. So I am so excited to jump right in. First, I just want to welcome everyone because we are broadcasting live to 7 different destinations across Facebook and YouTube. So mystery and thriller loving friends, no matter where you're watching from, you're in the right place. This is the right time. It is Mystery Monday. And because Mondays can be murder, we are going to make it a little less painful and get your week off to a killer start. So if you've been here before, you know the drill. And if you're new, welcome friends. Here's the drill. Every Monday, I give you my handpicked featured authors and you get to ask them anything. So ask Kemper about Loose Lips, about this mysterious ghostwriter, the anonymous ghostwriter that we follow through the series. Ask him about book 3. Yes, there's going to be one. Yay. Ask him about his All About Agatha Christie podcast. Ask him about his Christie obsession. We need to know more. Whatever questions you've got going, get them going on in the comments. Chris is joining us from YouTube saying, I'm really looking forward to this interview. What a lovely human being. Actually, you both. I saw him in an interview about a year ago talking about his podcast and new book. He is such a joy.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you for that. And I love that you encourage people to ask about Agatha Christie, especially because I find that I just work Agatha Christie into every question that people ask me anyway. So you're going to get Agatha Christie no matter what. So we might as well just lean into that.
Oh my God. Well, that is one of, when you say Agatha obsession, I mean, we all lean in because that's what we're here for. I mean, she is the original queen of the golden age whodunit. So So exciting. Okay, Sharon is joining us from YouTube as well, saying, hi, Kemper and Sara. Happy Tuesday. Yay.
Happy Tuesday, Sharon.
Happy day. Wait, it's Monday where I am. Okay, Sharon.
I know Sharon is Sharon like
Sharon,
in New Zealand?
are you in
Sharon could be
Australia, Sharon?
yeah, or Australia.
Whatever day it is, we're just happy you're here.
Get back to us and let us know where you are, Sharon.
Yeah,
I'm actually curious.
Well, this is a mystery show, Kemper. She may not be able to say. Sharon
Ooh,
could be in.
true.
She could be in witness protection. We don't know. We don't know. She's being very mysterious, and I'm here for it.
But that's why we love a traveling mystery. I mean, that's the thing. It's like
she's on a cruise somewhere. She's
could,
broadcasting live from an unknown destination on a cruise ship.
She could be on a cruise somewhere. I was thinking about this and I was like, why are there so many mysteries that are set on boats and trains and planes? And Agatha Christie has all three of those. She has the trifecta. And part of it is, you know, when people are on those modes of transportation, they're traveling, right? And often when you're traveling, you sort of get up to sort of some holiday hijinks. And I think people can sort of pretend to potentially be other than who they are. It's a little bit of like the White Lotus effect, dare I say, for anyone who may be watching or finishing up White Lotus. Maybe I just watched the final episode of White Lotus last night, so I just kind of have that on the brain. Another show that's actually making use a little bit of the murder mystery format as well. So, but I really do think, I mean, there's something in there that a lot of Christie's do involve people who are traveling. And I think I have a similar sort of an element in Loose Lips, which just, it helps sell the kind of the mystery hijinks that have to happen in one of these mystery novels.
Oh my God. So true. And so fun. And I actually hadn't ever given much thought to why. I actually had never given any thought to why so many mysteries are set on modes of transportation. And you're totally right, Kemper. It is an enclosed environment, and we're all perhaps a little different. I mean, people have told me, random people sitting next to me on trains, planes, and automobiles have confessed the most shocking things, affairs, deep, dirty secrets.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm Sara. Like, what was your name again?
Well, don't you feel like when you travel too, it's like you just kind of have the ability to have like a fresh start, or where you're just sort of like, you know what, I'm going to like change my life a little bit. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to get a refresh, a reboot. And those are really like, that is a mindset in which crazy things can happen. Like it's just more believable that I think when people are traveling and they're on metaphorical shifting sands, that, you know, murder or just the sort of mayhem that has to happen in these mysteries happens. And that's why I always say with Christie, it's not so much that she sets her mysteries abroad, so many of her mysteries abroad, it's that they're traveling. It's not even necessarily the fact that they're outside of England, it's that she has travelers together. Like that is really the important aspect of it. I actually just wrote an article about this for agathachristie.com, which is why I had to really parse through this and think about why this is, why we have so many mysteries set on modes of transportation and which involve travel. And there are a lot of different theories about it, but for me, I think that's the one that convinces me anyway, as a reader and a writer.
I love that. Renee says, hi, Sara and Kemper from Southeast Florida. Hi, Renee. Welcome.
Hi, Renee. Southeast Florida. Love it.
Southeast Florida. Yay. Robin is joining us she's saying, hello, Sara and Kemper from a rainy, sunny, who knows what, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I love that.
I love that.
We're getting the rain.
We're getting the rain. I was going to say for the person from Florida, I'm actually going to the South. I'm going to be in Georgia and North Carolina and Virginia and Washington, D.C. in a couple of weeks on a little tour. This is the sort of last leg of tours that I'm doing for Loose Lips. So if you are at all in that area, you can check out my website, and I've got some tour dates.
Ooh, that is so fun. So Renee, if you are anywhere near those places, stop on by, and I'm going to drop Kemper's website right here into the comments. So
probably a bit of a trek from Southeast Florida. I wish it was, more northern Florida, but you never know.
You never know. So here is the link to Kemper's website where you can check out Oh my God, of course. Where you can check out his tour dates and join him in progress. And for the rest of us who are not in that location, good news, our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore will ship anywhere. Oh, thanks for all the love on Facebook, you guys. I see you. And they will ship anywhere. So you can order your book right here from Murder by the Book, and they ship worldwide. So here is that link for all of us.
And I went to Murder by the Book. I think it was in January. It was either January, February, right? And I just love that bookstore so much. It is my happy place. Like whenever I go in there, I sort of breathe just a sigh of, not even relief, like a sigh of ecstasy, because I'm just like surrounded by all the books I love, and just like the people who work there are so wonderful, and they're just mystery lovers. And I love all independent bookstores, but like that one is like particularly great.
Which means we have signed books from Murder by the Book. Hooray. So I always say books make the best gift, but signed books make a better gift. And let's not forget, we've got Mother's Day coming up. We've got Father's Day coming up. You got to shop ahead. And then, of course, the Jewish holidays in the fall. And I shop all year round. So I'm never stressed at holiday time because my signed book gift pile is stocked. So let's do the same so you won't be stressed either, everybody.
Lots of mystery lovers who need some content, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yay. Robin is saying, welcome home, Sarah. Thank you. I just got home from the San Diego Writers Festival late last night. It's so good to be back. John is joining us from Northeast Ohio. Hi, John. Welcome to the conversation.
Hi, John.
Okay, Robin saying yay to book 3. Okay, so Kemper, tell us about, so we're going to have a ghostwriter book 3. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, so there's going to be at least a third book, maybe even more. We'll see. I can't guarantee that, but a third book is guaranteed. It is actually going to be coming out in June of next year. So a little bit later than the first 2 books came out, but I have written it already. It's sort of in process right now. I am very excited because I'm sort of doing something a little different, a little audacious in every book. And I have very much done the same in the third book. So I hope you all like it, but I'm very, very excited for you to see book 3.
Well, we love an audacious book. Oh my gosh, we have so many great questions here. Okay. So, let us say, Sharon is saying happy Monday. She was confused. No worries. We're all confused. It's no worry. Okay. It is in fact Monday. Good. Okay. Let us talk about this. Okay. So Robin would like to know Renee would like to know, why is the book called Loose Lips? And I'm wondering if it has anything to do with sinking ships.
Yes, perhaps that's why we did a little, these book covers, by the way, in here, I can show you in case you're not familiar. Oh, where's my camera? There we go. The covers here are so consistent and so wonderful with our little pen. But as you can see, I chose to have a little sinking ship within the pen on the cover there, because indeed, this is a reference to the phrase loose lips sink ships. This entire mystery, as I mentioned, is set on a ship. And it's a cheeky little reference, and it also does get the title does get checked in the novel. I love in a novel when you come across the title. Like I feel like it's very important actually to include the title, at least within my texts within these mysteries. And that is very much a reference to the maritime nature of this mystery.
I love that. Okay, so let's get down to it. So on this book 2 in the Ghostwriter series, our anonymous ghostwriter, who still is very mysterious and anonymous, is on the special cruise, which, by the way, I feel like we need to have an actual cruise. Is it just me, or do we need to have a Ghostwriter series mystery cruise? Because I would be on, my little bag would be packed. So she's on there. The bodies start turning up. Kemper, give us the scoop.
Yeah. So I actually based the lit cruise, as it's called, on some of those experiences. Like, how you can go to Ellen Hildebrand's islands, like you can do little weekend getaways there, or there are cruises like down the Seine for Sex in the City, or even like there was a Gone Girl cruise down the Danube at one point.
Wait, I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Yeah, all of these crazy sorts of experiences, like lit experiences that you can do. So I just created an outlandish one of my own. And basically basically there are like 5 experts in different genres. And actually, you would think that the ghostwriter would be an expert in memoir because that was her specialization as a ghostwriter. She ghost wrote celebrity memoirs. But I couldn't help getting a little meta. And in the world of the ghostwriter mysteries, she has actually written the first book. That's also a very kind of John Watson thing to do. Like in the world of Sherlock Holmes, Watson hasn't just chronicled Sherlock Holmes's tales, but he has published them. Like he is the actual writer of Sherlock Holmes's stories, the author of them. So I did a similar thing. So actually, the ghostwriter is lecturing on mystery on the Lit Cruise. And that just allows me to get even more meta about mysteries in my mystery. It's all, in the spirit of good fun. And
I love it.
And basically, the woman who created the Lit Cruise is this very successful very 21st century social media active, very forward-facing writer who's a little bit of a mashup of like Elizabeth Gilbert. There's some Glennon Doyle in there, a little bit of Tara Westover, maybe even Rachel Hollis. So just a lot of different people. And that's something very similar to what I did in the first book. It's something that I want to do in each of them, where I'm taking real people and I'm creating amalgamations and sort of exaggerated, fictionalized versions of recognizable real life people or combinations of real life people. And I had a lot of fun with that because they're sort of frenemies. They go back really to their MFA days. Actually, they got their MFA together, and there's a little bit of healthy competition, yet also some real affection and intimacy between them. And I even do a riff on the bad art friend scandal. They kind of like roiled Twitter, back in the day. So there's that going on. There's just a lot of writerly rivalry going on in this book, and hopefully it's fun.
I love those clever little nods. Ooh, Robin is saying a Maven's Cruise. Oh my God, a mystery and a Maven's Cruise. Robin, I love it. I was thinking of a ghostwriter cruise where we have different, but Maven's Cruise is so fun.
You could absolutely be a cruise ship director. I mean, come on.
All aboard. Who would pack their bag? I would bring oh my God, I would wear a captain's hat. I would wear a captain's hat. That would be so fun. I would check people out. I would invite various writers to come with me on the cruise. Oh my God, this is so fun. Okay. Chris wants to know, Kemper. Oh, I love this question. What do you do to keep the creative juices flowing? Any routine to get you in a zone? I want to know too, Chris.
Ooh, that's a really good question. So I tend to write as early as I possibly can. For me, I find that the earlier I can wake up, I just don't feel as distracted by everything. And like these days, I think the world is as distracting as it could possibly get. Or maybe that's just, me and my fully fledged adulthood at this point. But and I have kids, and it's just so I really try to get up as early as I possibly can and really focus, get in, an hour or two if I'm lucky, before I have to start making breakfast and stuff like that for the kids. And then, putting in enough time in the day, usually like immediately after that, like kind of getting the kids off to school and trying to like refocus and doing that all in the first half of the day. I mean, for me, by the time I get into the afternoon, evening, I'm done. Like I feel very spent. I can maybe read, but I can't really do a lot of creating. So for me, it's just about like finding when, where my energy is and like how my flow is. And there's some people that are the total reverse, right? Like they're night owls. They get their energy at night. Is that you? Yeah. And you write, you might start writing at like 6 p.m. right? And you're doing the like 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. or whatever.
That's my shift. I work the night shift.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to be a little bit more like that. I've sort of had to embrace just like the early mornings. And now I'm like, by 9 p.m. practically, I'm just like, okay, I think we're going to go to bed. But you just have to, I think, figure out what works for you. Because it takes a lot of energy, like it really does. It's just when you're writing a book, it's just kind of exhausting, even in like a physical way. So I think it's just like figuring out what works for you and when you can find that focus and that stamina.
Exactly. Sweet Liz, welcome to the conversation. She's a bit late, but this sounds so fun. It is so fun.
We're having a lot of fun.
Robin saying, I'm loving the sticky notes corkboard. Kemper, what is your favorite treasure in the bookcase behind you? Ooh, fun. Yeah. So I also was noticing the sticky notes because that's how I graph out my books as well. Color coded by character and action scene. So I love, hello, fellow sticky notes person, uh, sticky notes creative. And what a lovely question of what is your favorite treasure?
So I wish that I could take credit for the sticky notes bulletin board. I am actually right now in my husband's office, and he is a television writer. This is not my regular office because my in-laws are actually staying in my office right now, which also doubles as our little guest house area,
Oh, okay.
our guest room. So he at TV writers really have to like structure. The structure is so important for screenwriting. So he is all about the index cards and whatnot. That's actually a show that he worked on, Twisted, right there. It was on ABC Family back in the day. That's why that's there.
Oh my God,
Um,
so fun.
and that desk was actually my grandmother's desk, which I had shipped all the way across the country because I had so many wonderful memories of her secretary's desk. It used to have glass panes in the sort of cabinet doors that got shattered during the trip, actually, but that's okay. That's okay. And I'm trying to think
No.
of what I have. I have some great family photos there, actually, of my husband and my two daughters. So I'm going to say that is my most treasured objects in
Oh
that
my
desk.
God.
Great question. Very observant.
Such a great question. I have my grandmother's secretary desk too, and it's my treasure from
Oh, that's so funny.
1936. Oh my
Oh,
God.
wow. They're great. I mean, secretary desks are great too because like they hold a lot of stuff. Like there's
Yes.
so much room in them. I keep all of my stationery in there, like all of my sort of odds and ends paperwork and
Oh,
writing stuff and just a ton of stuff.
oh, I love that. Kemper, I want to get into some of the praise that, well, actually, first of all, I want to get to some, well, first of all, let's talk about that starred review from Library Journal because congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
I'm going to, you're so welcome. I'm going to pop it up so that we can all read it together. Donovan's successful rare feat, I'm going to take this down now so it's not covering our faces, is to write a sequel that is even better than his debut mystery, The Busybody. The large scale closed circle mystery, a fast paced, humorous tribute to Agatha Christie, often refers to other mystery writers and their books. Characters are well drawn, quirky individuals forming a memorable cast. Fans of humorous, deftly written mysteries will enjoy this one. So these are all my favorite words: humorous, deftly written, and again, that clever, quick wit, tongue in cheek, and being able to, have a laugh at, the world that we live in and some of the crazy people that inhabit it. So well done, and
Yes.
congratulations on that starred review. This is absolutely amazing, and they're not the only ones that are raving. Book Page also weighing in with a rave review saying the murder weapon is straight out of Agatha Christie. Or perhaps the board game Clue, which was, of course, my favorite growing up. I was Miss Scarlet. And the tongue-in-cheek a la Knives Out. Congratulations on that rave review.
Well, Ryan Johnson is like, anyone who would ever compare me to Ryan Johnson with, his Knives Out and Poker Face, like, cause he's also the ultimate Agatha Christie fan. I mean,
I
that
didn't know
guy,
that.
oh, he absolutely, like, he just loves Agatha Christie. He might be the only person who loves Agatha Christie more than I do, but maybe not actually. I'm not willing to give up that fight, but, yeah,
Go
I
down.
love Knives Out and Glass Onion as
Oh
well.
my
And he
God.
has some new ones coming out.
Oh, really? I loved both. Oh, thanks for all the hearts up, you guys. I loved both of those. Knives Out and the Glass Onion. So, so good. And yeah. And okay, I want to get to some of the questions that were submitted in advance because we had a few of those
Sure.
as well. So Art was wondering about this large cast of characters and how you were able to keep them organized as you were creating them. Great question, Art.
Yeah, I think it's one of the big challenges of writing a puzzle mystery. And when I say puzzle mystery, some people call it a fair play mystery or a whodunit or a traditional golden age mystery. Like those all sort of mean the same thing. Basically, just a mystery that's meant to be solved. So you're layering in clues into the text, and you're giving the reader the ability to solve the mystery along with whatever fictional detective or detective sidekick duo you've put into your book, because that's not every mystery, right? I mean, there are tons of mysteries that are thrillers that are not solvable, and they might have a twist at the end. You're like, oh my God, I didn't see that coming, but you're not meant to solve it. I love both, but these are very much solvable mysteries, and
Yes.
I'm writing an homage to not every Christie is even a solvable mystery. Most of them are. So that's what I'm trying to do here. And if you're really going to make a mystery that's, I think, intriguing enough to keep a reader entertained for 300-ish pages, you need a lot of characters. Like, you actually need a ton of characters. And I think that this is by no means scientific, like a scientific survey, but I feel like the number that I've landed on is 7. You need about 7-ish suspects. You can always do fewer. Cards on the Table, and a classic Agatha Christie, she only had 4 suspects. That was very, very audacious of her, and it's still extremely satisfying. It doesn't feel thin at all. And then you have a lot of Christie's and other Golden Age mysteries that have like sometimes as many as 10 or 15 suspects, and those can be crazy. What I did was I had to create a mystery with about 7 suspects, but then I also made the choice to set it on a cruise ship. And to make that setting feel believable, like to really make that spring off the page, you need a fair amount of additional characters who may not actually have anything to do with the mystery. So I really did, you're right, I had a ton of characters, and there's no sort of trick that I can give you that I had up my sleeve in terms of keeping them straight. I honestly think I just had to inhabit the book to such an extent that by the time I was in the middle of it, I had just a good handle on who everyone was, and I at least was able to keep them straight enough that hopefully I was making it easier for the reader to be able to do that. Because I do enjoy the novels sometimes where like you have to refer to the list of suspects at the front of the book, or even like keep notes of your own that's like, okay, wait, who was that? And like where that can be a little confusing. But I'm trying to make these, fairly light and easy to read. So I am always aware of that. And I was particularly aware of that for Loose Lips, because I know that there are a lot of characters, because we have all of our suspects, plus some passengers on the boat and other people who are just involved in the running of the boat, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, hopefully it's not too confusing.
It's not, because I actually don't love it when the cast is so large that I have to go back to the list. I have a strong memory, so I actually can keep this number in my brain straight.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a follow-up question, and I think Art actually was looking for specific details on how you maybe manage that if it was like a corkboard situation like your husband. But I want to say, how did you land on 7 as the number? Was it from studying Agatha, even though, as you said, I love the use of the word audaciously used, only 4 in one, but or was it just your own, you started with 5 and then you're like, it needs a few more, you went to 8, that was one too many, you scaled it back to 7? Like how did you land on 7?
Yeah, and I feel like that's just a sort of the sweet spot, having read a lot of not just Christie, but other Golden Age, and even past the Golden Age, like other authors, people like Anthony Horowitz, who's writing right now, but who very much is writing in this tradition. He's got lots of
I love Anthony Horowitz.
Or P.D. James, like she's post Golden Age, but she was also, it just, 7 to me feels like the right sort of average number that you can easily go above or below. It's almost like if you're shooting for 7 and then you end up having to cut 1 or 2 characters, you're fine. Or if you have to add 1 or 2 characters, you're still okay. But if you were shooting for 10 and then did more, or you were shooting for like 5 and you did fewer, you might be in trouble. So that's almost like why I aim for 7. And then sometimes it's even not, it's in the eye of the beholder who a true suspect is anyway. So I might say there are 7 suspects, but you might read the book and be like, I thought there were 9, or I thought there were 5, or whatever. And to be a little bit more specific actually about how did I do it.
Yeah.
Because I do like to be specific when I possibly can.
Yeah.
Because I know there are a lot of people who are also writers out there who are asking for their own writing. The one thing that I do a lot while I'm writing mysteries, and I wrote one novel before this mystery series that was, it had a lot of suspense in it, but it wasn't a mystery per se. And that one I just wrote without outlining anything. Like I just and it was my first novel, so I didn't know what I was doing. And I just very inefficiently was, writing when I was inspired. And it took a while to become what it was, and that was fine. But for these books, I really do feel like I have to outline them. And I do 2 different outlines. I do a linear plot outline, which is just a chapter by chapter breakdown. That's actually what I share with my editor. But then I do a puzzle outline. And that's something that I actually got into the habit of doing when I was going through Agatha Christie's novels on the podcast All About Agatha. And I was actually doing that with my late co-host on the podcast. I always just have to mention Catherine Brobeck because the podcast started as a joint venture. She passed away actually about 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago. And we really did do that together. So it just feels weird not to mention her.
No, thank you for honoring her work.
Yeah, absolutely. So she and I sort of stumbled through in the first few novels and figured out a way to break down these books as puzzles. And the puzzle outline is sort of, you have your victim, you identify who the victim or victims are, then who the suspects are, and then you talk about the world as it appears to be, which is how we always begin a mystery, and the plot kind of goes from there. And by the end of the novel, you get to the world as it actually is. And how do you go from one to the other? You go there by way of a bridge of clues. And it's the clues that lead one by one to from appearances to reality. And breaking down a book like that, which is not totally linear, was really helpful for analyzing Christie. And I now actually do that for my books as well. So I think once I'm doing those two outlines, it's actually much easier to keep everyone straight and to just have a overall structural sense of what I'm doing. So I think that probably goes a long way to in terms of keeping track of everything.
I love that. Jane Brannigan Kaufman is joining us via Facebook in the Mystery and Thriller Mavens group. So that is a private group. And if you're not in there, you can't see it. But if you are in there, you can see it. There's a whole other conversation going on in there. And she says she absolutely loves your covers.
Thank you.
And I love them too. I have Loose Lips in my library behind me, and you'll notice, there's a blood drop. First of all, just you get the sense of this book. This is a classic Golden Age whodunit. There's that classic, because there's a classic pen, a fountain pen, but there's a drop of blood coming from it. And then you can see a woman's outline in Kemper's first book, Busybody. In this, you see the sinking ship, which of course is so clever from the Loose Lips sink ships. And so Jane, thank you. I totally love them too. Oh, Robin is saying she absolutely loves them too. Yeah, they're such great covers.
I got really lucky. My publisher is Kensington Books, and I'm lucky to be with them in so many ways. But these were designed in-house by Chris Noble. Actually, she also goes by Christine Mills. That's her name on the jacket, on the jacket flap. And my only direction that I gave them was I didn't want a cover that had too much going on in it. I didn't want it to be too busy, ironically. And I actually, speaking of Anthony Horowitz, I really liked how on Anthony Horowitz and Richard Osman's covers, because those are two sort of, guiding lights of mine in terms of contemporary puzzle mysteries. I really liked how the covers just had like one object on them and a lot of negative space. Like I didn't want it to be one of those covers where like it's all just covered in writing, which is very common these days, to have like lots of big text on a page. And that's what they came back with. I mean, the pen was not my idea. And I love that, because the pen is a great allusion to the ghostwriter, and she's very literary, and the drop of blood / ink is, I just think, so suggestive. And then of course the Busybody and Loose Lips, the actual type, or rather my name, Kemper Donovan, is in a typewriter font.
Yes.
Like it's totally a typewriter font. It's like an extra Courier. It's like, I'm not sure even what the font is, but it's like Courier Extra. So they just did a wonderful, wonderful job. And I don't know, the third book, I have already told them that I want it to be yellow.
Ooh.
So that it's going to be, it's almost like it's lightening from, because I also like that the color scheme has, changed, that we have the black and then the red. And wouldn't it be cool to have a yellow one also? So.
Oh my God, so fun.
We'll see.
So fun. Yeah. And I am also a huge Anthony Horowitz fan. I've interviewed him for every book for the last 5 years. And
oh, that's amazing. I've interviewed him on my podcast, actually. So
I interviewed him first, Kemper. And
He's
then
a
what
good interview too.
he's
Isn't he?
such a good interview because
Yeah.
his brain is a well-oiled machine. He's so freaking smart. And the level of thought and detail and care that he has poured into this book and that he pour into every book and that the depth of thought that he gives the craft and the
Yes.
respect that he has for the craft is so mind filling and heart filling and spirit nourishing. He cares so deeply and he is so respectful. And I just love him. And I think that why I love your books is the same reason why I love his books. There is an elegance and there's a polished and there's a clever, just sort of that dry British wit, like Agatha, that it's an elegance for me. And I really love that. And what I love about Golden Age.
Well, we can just end this now because that's going to be the high point of this experience. I can't imagine a higher compliment because I think he's brilliant. I'm so excited for the third book in the Moonflower Murders series is coming out really soon, I believe.
Yay.
I can't wait.
Oh my God. I can't wait. Well, we are actually over time, but time flies when you're having fun. Last question from Sweet Eliz. She wants to know, can I read Loose Lips without first reading The Busybody? I love the idea of a literary cruise. I started taking bookish trips annually last year. Okay, we need to do a bookish cruise.
We really do. That is such a good question. I'm so embarrassed that I didn't even say. I should have said that at the outset. Yes, you can 100% read Loose Lips without reading The Busybody first. That was very important to me when I was creating a series that I would create one that both rewards reading it in order. Like there is a light sort of serialized element to what I would call almost a character intrigue as to who this ghostwriter is. She's nameless in the first book. She does acquire a name in the second book, but it's really a pseudonym. So I kind of figured out a way to have my cake and eat it too. But you can absolutely dip in and read the second one and you won't be missing anything. You won't be confused. And that too is very Agatha Christie. Agatha Christie wrote 33 Poirots and 12 Miss Marples. It does not matter what order you read them in. It's totally fine. Although if you do read them in publication order, you do get little references and things. And Miss Marple in particular does actually age a bit, especially toward the end. I'll stop talking about Agatha Christie now, but long-winded answer, absolutely. Feel free just to read.
And Anthony Horowitz does that as well. Like, and
Yes.
I think and I actually had that on my list of questions, but we ran out of time because there is an artfulness to both bringing along your OGs who have been with you, who have been with you since day one, your day oneers, along with you for the ride. And there are Easter eggs in that where there's little, references where if you have read the first one, you're going to get, you're like a callback. You're like, I remember that, or a reference to that. But if you're new here and you're starting here, you are not lost. You are just right on time. And then if you want to go back, you can. And that's not easy to do, to balance, because you don't want to bore the OGs with repetitive information, but you got to give them a reward. So
absolutely. It is a balance. It's a balancing act. I think it's tricky because you want to do both. Like it kind of is important to do both. So
yeah. Well, Sweet Liz is saying, yes, I get it now. I will read both. I am sure, but I am ready to dive into Loose Lips. Well, Sweet Liz, I'm going to have to Venmo you that $5 later because that is the perfect note to end on. And here is this link once again to order the book from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore. And again, we do have signed copies, and signed copies make the perfect gift. Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthday, Friend's Day, whatever it is, or just the gift for yourself because life ain't easy and you deserve it. Here is the link to order your signed copy. Kemper Donovan, it has been such a pleasure to interview you once again. And you have to come back next summer, summer, for Ghostwriter number 3. Do we have a title yet or you can't share?
I don't think I can share yet because it's not final. So I don't want to give you the wrong title.
No worries.
You wouldn't be able to keep me away, Sarah. I'm there.
Okay, perfect. Well, I want to thank everybody for spending your Mystery Monday with me. I hope your week is off to a killer start. Thank you for everyone for watching, and thank you for commenting. Some people watch and some people comment, but I still see everyone. So thank you, Rachel with an AEL. Thank you, Rachel EL. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Brenda, Maria, Martin, Brenda R. Oh my goodness, everybody. Carol, Dana, Jackie, Denise, Pamela, Bethany, oh my goodness, everybody, Lola, Patricia, Susan, Anne, Janet, oh my goodness, everybody, I can't even get to everyone. Annalie, thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who's watching in the private groups. We see you. We appreciate you.
I
And I will
appreciate you
see
so much. I really, anyone who makes time for books and for mystery is just a hero in my book. So thank you
Oh,
so much, all of you. And
yay.
thank you, Sara. Thank you for doing this. This is such a great service that you provide for authors. And I obviously, I mean, hey, I came back, but I have so much fun here. So.
Oh, yay. Well, you're so welcome. And it's so my pleasure. Thank you for all the hearts, you guys, on Facebook. And I will see you next week. The days and the pages fly by. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye.